Hello guys, welcome back. It has been quite some time since we did a tutorial, and in the comments I heard many people talk about beginner lessons, beginner Seben lessons and classes. So I decided to do a lesson this time for beginners. So for all you who are starting to play Seben, rhythm and solo, I think this can be a very helpful lesson. And then at the end of the video, I think we can do that piece that I've just played. That piece that I've just played, I think it's quite easy, so we can do it at the end of the video. So for this lesson, we'll be concentrating on the chords. We'll look at the chords. What are the chords for if you want to start playing Seben? What are the chords that you should know, the easy ones and the main ones? So I assume that you know your basic chords like C, F, G, those kind of chords, A minor. Those are the basic chords for playing acoustic. So I assume you know them, because I think those are the ones that will apply mostly. So for this class, let's stick to the key of D. So that's D. I'm in the key of D. This note on the first string, that's D. So we'll be concentrating on that key. Although we could pick any, but we could do D for now for this class. So for Seben, the main chords that are usually used are the 1 chord, the 4, the 5, and then we can use 6 and the 2. Though in even more complex Sebens, you can add many other chords depending on how you feel like doing it. So for this class, we'll look at the 1 chord, we'll look at the 4 chord, and we'll look at the 5 chord, and maybe if it's possible, you can also look at the 6 chord. So for D, so let's look at the shapes for the 1 chord. So for the 1 chord, there is this shape. So I've held down, this is the 5th string, this is the A string, and I'm on my 5th fret. This is my 5th fret. And then the rest, I've held down the 4th string, the 3rd string, and the 2nd string on the 7th fret. This is the 7th fret. So I hold them down like this, and then this one too. So that's my 1 chord. So that's just one of the shapes. So like, for example, if you look at the 1 chord, there are many shapes to the 1 chord, there are many shapes to the 4 chord, there are many shapes to the 5 chord. So when you combine them together, that's how you come up with melodies, and that's how you come up with movement between one chord and the other. So that's our first shape for the 1 chord. And then the next shape, that's the next one. So for this one, it's just like a continuation of the one you have just learned. So the first one ends here, and then the second one picks up from here. So these are the notes. So this is a chord. And then you can normalize holding down this note using the pinky finger. So that's the next shape. And then the next one, sorry, let me do this. So this is the third one we learn. It comes from this shape. I don't know if you have, for those who have done bar chords, you know this shape. You know this shape. So that's where we'll derive our next shape. So our next shape looks like this. So from here, 12th fret, this is the 4th string, and then the 11th fret, the 3rd string, and then the 10th fret, and the 10th fret again in the 2nd string and the 1st string. So from the beginning we did this one, and then this shape, and then this one. And then those are the shapes, those are the 3 shapes we learn for this class for the 1 chord. So those are the shapes for the 1 chord. So the next one is for the 4 chord. The 4 chord. I think for the 4 chord we can learn 2 of them. So if this is our one, this is the 1. So the 4 will look like this. This is the 4 chord. So for the 4 chord, where do we start? We can start here. With the pinky finger, I've held down the 10th fret. This is the 10th fret, 5th string. And then this is the 9th fret. And then the 4th string. And then 7th fret. So, and then, so like this. And then you can add the last string, but then you'll be holding down with your 1st finger. So it will look like this. Yeah, so this is the 4 chord, but then we can shorten this chord. For solo, mostly what we do is we shorten the chords that we have. For example, this shape. This is the D, but in a bar chord shape. But then we shorten this one, and then we get this. And we can even shorten it further and have this, depending on how you're playing and how you want to do it. So it's all about shortening chords. It's all about shortening chords. For example, this one, the one we did for the 1 chord, we can shorten it, and we remove this one, and then we remain with these three strings. That's how easy it is. And even for this 1 chord, this shape, we can remove this one and remain with these 3 strings. These 3 strings. That's how easy it can be. You just shorten the chords depending on on how you're playing. But then it's good to learn the whole shape. For example, this one. It's good to learn the whole shape. It's good able to learn that. So for the 4, we have learned this shape, but then we can shorten it. We can shorten it, we remove this one, and then we remain with this. We remain with that. And then, having our 4, we can move it a whole tone. Like that. These are 4. And then we can move it a whole tone, and then we get our 5 chord. So it's the same shape, but then we just moved it across the fretboard. So 4, when you move it 1 fret 2, the second fret, you get this. This is the 5 chord. And then we can shorten it further. You remove this one. You can play like that. You can play it like that. And then the 4. So 1. And then the 4. And then 5. So 1, 4, 5. So for the 1 chord, we have learned 3 shapes. And then for the 4 chord, you have learned only 1 shape. And then for the 5 chord, you have learned only 1 shape. I think that's good for this class. So our 1, and then our 4, and then our 5. So on my picking side, I'm picking the notes alternately. It's called alternate picking. So down, up, down, up. That's alternate picking. Alternate. They alternate. The first one down, up, and then the next one down, up. So, sorry. That's how I'm picking, and that's how you should learn how to pick, so that when it comes to the first stuff, you can be able to play it well. So just hold down the 1 chord like the way you have learned it, and then just play down, up, down, up, down, up. That can be a very good exercise. Down, up, down, up. Can be a very good exercise. And then the 4 chord. And then the 5 chord. 4 chord, 5 chord. And then the way I'm picking, remember, alternate picking. Down, up, down, up. So for this class, we have learned, let's remind ourselves, the 3 shapes for the 1 chord. And then the next shape. And then the next one. But then we have said playing mostly African guitar is about shortening the chords. So for example, this one, we have shortened it, we have removed this note, and then we remained with these 3. If you are holding it like this, you can remove this one. And then for the 4 chord, we were holding it like this, but then we can shorten it like this. You remove this one, and then you can even remain with these 3. But then the full chord, you should learn how to hold it, holding down the first string, the E string. And then you have said the 4 has the same shape as the 5, just that the positioning is different. So 1. Yeah, so you can start by that simple exercise. Just play the 1 and then the 4 and then the 5 and then the 4. The 1, the 4 and then the 5, and then you can go increasing the speed. That. Yeah, that's how easy it is. So for this class, those are the things we'll look at. At least we have learned something, the chords, and then we'll continue with them. I think the next class we'll look at something else. Yeah, and I hope you have learned. You can comment and let me know what you think about what you have learned, what you think about what we should do maybe in the future, the next classes we should do. Yeah, and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, and for this video hit the like button. Yeah, and see you in the next class.